How's it going, guys? This is my Adventure Scareclaw deck profile. I've been working on it for a couple weeks now. I'm really happy how it is. I'm a little upset from the Baron ban, but other than that, I think it's a really solid deck and I've had a lot of fun with it, so let's just get into it. Starting off, we run 3 Water Enchantress. Get your adventure engine going. I wouldn't run her at anything less because it's really nice being able to discard her and then banish and still search, so it's really nice to have. I have 2 Ash. Ash was at 3, but it got a little clunky, so I think it's better at 2, and I feel like it's working out better for me. And then 3 Astra. Astra lets you try hard attack more times depending how many Scareclaws you control. I don't like this being the only Scareclaw I have on field with it, but it's probably my number 2 pick out of all of them. Then I run 3 Acro. Acro is probably my favorite. I just like having that little extra attack damage. I think it's good, but it's probably not the best, but it's probably my number 1 pick. So I run 3 of it. And then 2 Balloon. Balloon's good for that piercing damage when you need it. I don't like seeing this in my first hand, so I like to have it at 2. I think 2's solid. And then I run 3 Scareclaw Reinhardt. I used to run 2 and then 1 Rhoda. I think 3's a lot better because it makes me not feel bad when I have to banish it. And having another Dark, because we are running Chaos Angel instead of Baron, I think is pretty good. And then 1 Beast of Starfrost. Beast of Starfrost is also really good. I don't think it's good at 2. I had it at 2. It got really cloggy. I think 1 is good. It's nice to have it when you see it, but if you have it too much, it kind of gets in the way of things. 1 Griffin for the adventure engine. We need that Omni Negate. It really helps, and also it's something to distract your opponent with too. And then 3 Fenrir. Fenrir is really good. It really gets a body on the field. It can banish. It's the modern day Cyber Dragon. I really like it in here. It also works great with the Cashteria Scareclaw, which is the next card up 2 of. Yeah, I can search this with Fenrir, and then also if I have an extra Fenrir, I can always just dump it if I want to, which is also really nice. But really good. Can also attack and defense, and yeah. 2 of the Opstapa Nibiru. This wasn't good. I thought it wasn't good, but it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid in here, and I'm really having a lot of fun with it. And if you want to go more of the alternative route that I was thinking, you could do cross out because Nibiru does hurt the deck quite a bit. So you could do the cross out. You already have the Nibiru in the main, so it kind of works out. 1 Call by the Grave. When I need it, I always see it. So I definitely recommend. You could go the cross out route, how I was just saying, but I think 1 Call is good for me. 1 Straddle. Straddle's pretty good. The main thing is I mainly use it for that protection effect, but the attack effect is there. I rarely use it for that, but I think it's still a good one of. And then Defanging. I don't usually search out Defanging, but Defanging is very powerful when the board state kind of calls for it. But I think I have more important things than when I have to search for it. But when you have this in your main hand or your first hand and you have already your combo pieces, it works out really great. 1 Dracoback. Dracobacks I like a lot. It lets you bounce. It can also be the discard and then come right back to the token when you need to. So I think Draco's good. And then the adventure engine, we run 1 Faithful, and then we run 2 Right. I like this combo. Once this is gone, kind of the engine adventure is all gone. It could run it at 2, but I think 1 is fine because once you get this out of the way, you either gained it or your opponent took it away from you, and now you can focus on your Scareclaw stuff. So either way, I think it's good at what it's at right now. I wouldn't change it. And then we run 2 of the field spells. Primitive Planet. This lets you search for almost any of your Scareclaws. You get it through Lightheart. I think 2 is good. I could see myself playing 3, but I think 2 is solid. And then 2 Scareclaw Arrival. This is just the Monster Reborn of the deck. Also really solid card, and also that protection for my Tryhard is really good too. Twin Saw. Twin Saw has 1-me games because it just shuts down links completely and doesn't allow certain decks to climb anymore. And I think this is a good card. Maybe not more than one in the main because you're not always going to be facing links. But I keep a couple of my side decks, so I think it's a really, really solid card. And then 3 Infinite Impermanence. I changed, this was at 2 and the Ash was at 3. And I think it's better at 3 because I can use it more than once if I do see 2 in my hand, so which is really nice. And that's the main. Going into the side deck, we run 3 Lightheart. I wouldn't recommend anything less. They usually negate the first one, and you usually need the other 2. Without these, you run out of gas, and I think it's good at 3, and I wouldn't change that at all. 1 Link Spider for the Nibiru. Link Spider has been really good to me. Continues to it lets me continue my combos and keep going off. 1 Cross Sheep. This goes pretty crazy with the fusion that we do run. But if I did have to recommend 2 cards that you could change, it would probably be these 2. If you're not facing a lot of Nibiru and you don't want to go to the fusion route. This is usually just to gain advantage. 1 IP. And IP is in here mostly for the access code. When I make access code with her, it's usually more of a problem for my opponent. And I also like that access code doesn't necessarily target. 1 Unicorn. Unicorn can gain you advantage because some Scareclaws do have to be in the graveyard, so that first effect is pretty good sometimes. But I really do like the card in here. Also being able to make IP on your opponent's turn and then making Unicorn with IP on your opponent's turn is pretty good too. 3 Triheart. The main heart of the deck, the main boss monster. Your other Scareclaws build upon this. And I think it's just really, really solid. If your opponent doesn't have an out, they don't have an out. And you can usually end games 2-3 rounds in. And then the 1 access code. And how I stated earlier, it's just that non-targetable effect. Or having access code made with IP makes it pretty good. 1 Appaloosa. This is usually when I need to go for a big negate board. Just not let my opponent do anything. I think this is pretty good in here, but you can also change this out too. Next we have Plan C, Typhon. Typhon is the Plan C. If everything goes wrong, you can usually rely on this to be the last thing you can do. It has 1-me games, but it has also lost-me games. But either way, I really like the card. And then this is the replacement for Baron. We are running 1 Chaos Angel. It's not too bad, but the Vista Starfrost and with the Reinhardt, it's not too bad to make, but it's not what I want. It's still a really, really good card, but I would have preferred Baron, but with the new ban list, it's a little rough. And last but not least, we have Astrolaud. This is pretty much free. If you have the stuff in your graveyard, you could just bring this out. It's just a free body. And this has actually won me a couple games, mainly because they think I have nothing else, and then this just comes out of nowhere, and I can just end game there. So yeah, that's the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys next time. If you have any tips for me or you need any help, just let me know.